Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Lab.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. So another inside day today, but this time instead of opening lower and able to come off lows and close strong, we opened up. So you had to be in things from yesterday, buying some support. So it did feel like we had a weaker day, but not really. There were definitely some things to do and patterns are still intact. But, I came in a lot longer this morning than I am leaving today. Not saying that we're near a top and you got to get short, but I like to have a reason to be in a situation that has a compelling setup. So I'm in a few, but I'm just telling you that a little less. Let's just go right through because I don't have a lot of time. Here's the S&P cash. All in all, everything still looks just dandy here, right? You have your pre-election sell-off, the little snapback. Here is when President Trump got elected, and then here is your accelerated trend. Accelerated trend got tested last week, held. You could have got stopped out and then rebought, and now here we are right back up here. So the question is, how many sessions do we have to stay above Friday's gap before maybe we get some upside traction? Who knows? Could be a few more. It could be tomorrow. All I know is that today, a little bit of an inside day, still above the 8-day. Are they going to do it again? I don't. What do I know? All I know is I don't see a major reason to be in the indices overnight. I was in, the spiders last night, the Russell in the morning, but at this point, what? For now, I'm just not. I'm going to wait and see. If we open lower, maybe, I'd buy some back. If we could reclaim these three pivots, if we open up in line, I think there'll be some time. But all in all, everything's fine as of right now. The what's called the IWM, it's definitely a little wishy-washy. Not saying it's game over. You still have your lower support here, but a little bit of weakness for 2 days. It already took out Friday's low. Okay, I didn't draw that well, but it did. Okay, well, other sectors didn't, so I got out and I'm going to wait and see. Lots of times it engulfs it and does things quick, like look how quickly that went back up to highs. But at this point, I'm going to wait and see. I don't just need to sit in something because there's more than enough action out there where, why be in harm's way when this range is still just driving a lot of people to drink. The XLE that looked promising, broke lower. Okay, I was long it, I think yesterday, okay, thinking that maybe it could break above this. Here was your red dog reversal. Was in it on this day, got stopped out yesterday, right? If you're in the situation and you're looking for commitment, if it takes out an entire bar, you get out of the way. And now all of a sudden, XLE new lows on 2017, so it's below every moving average, so you need to be a little careful. Why is it below the moving averages? Look at oil. Oil, came off lows today, but I didn't see this yesterday. Pretty much broke the small symmetrical triangle to the downside. Still, hanging in there, not a full-fledged headwind, but just not a place where there's momentum. So you don't need to be there unless you're, have a thesis for the year or whatever it is. So as far as high beta tech, still not a heck of a lot to do. We did focus on Netflix today. Netflix gave a lot of us a really good day. It started off slow in the morning, but then during lunch, you saw some relative weakness in the market. It got stronger and then triggered, above the buy price that I put the chart on Twitter this morning. If you looked at the Twitter, because everyone's like, oh, you didn't post your buy. All right, anyway, the VTF saw me long yesterday. I posted the chart at like 8:30 in the morning, and I did it in the Morning Call Express. So for those people on Twitter, the trolls or whoever you are, here is Netflix now, okay? Posted this chart for the first time in a while, okay? Why did I post it? Because big consolidation since earnings, poked its head up yesterday, got long yesterday. I did add a little bit, and I'm still long overnight, okay? Use your resources. Don't just be a hater for I don't even know why you would be. But anyway, cleared this spot, and closed strong. Netflix doesn't have a history of follow-through. Although if this was any other stock, I probably would be long a lot. Because it's Netflix, I'm long some. Actually, a little less than last night, but I had a more intraday than through this pivot. So the way you could do it is, if you're long tier 1 yesterday and then tier 2 through the pivot area, then you get back to tier 1 on the close. You don't give back your entire day if you had a good day and a half move, and hold some for some follow through just in case there is. That's how you use a tier system and how you use some pivot points. I was in Tesla. I got out of Tesla. Why did I get out of Tesla? Just I feel like I keep doing that lately. Pushed through, came back below. So it was a nice trade for some of you guys yesterday as it cleared this symmetrical triangle, and then a little bit of a topping tail. So maybe it comes in a little bit. So don't need to just sit in it as an active trader. Apple, I was also in for 2 days or so. I think I was in since here. Okay, I was actually in on this day, added here, and I sold some into this because what? Day 1, 2, 3, 4, day 5. Okay, I like to buy day 1, add when it takes out a level and then sell into some strength. If it continues to go, you know what? I'll be like, oh, I had it so well in this little spot, but you know what? For an active trading spot or an active trade, it was nice. You could have been a buyer versus 127. You could have been a buyer when it went above 129.40. You could even have been a buyer today once it cleared this 130.48, the earnings pivot high, which is a strategy. So up here, maybe you don't want to be such a buyer considering you could get a little bit of a pullback, but ultimately pretty darn healthy. But I'm not in it overnight. The banks came in a little bit. I'm still in Bank of America. Pretty wide range bar. I don't know what it's going to really amount to the downside. I have less than I had overnight. I sold some actually when it was up today, so that's why I feel like I'm fine to hold some. If it opens down tomorrow, maybe I'll buy more. If it reverses up, just taking it sweet, what time before maybe making another move. Still fine. It just wasn't ready to go. You look at Goldman Sachs also. Goldman Sachs, inside day, still not ready to take out this upper end. I think we need some clarity on, how many times is rates going up? Will they be able to repeal Dodd-Frank, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Little topping tail yesterday, was up today, went red. Maybe it comes into here where you could buy some. No need to be sitting in there unless you, have a thesis and you're not actively trading and you're in it from here or you're in it from down here, then it doesn't really matter to you the last two sessions. Give it some space, and it does seem like, the banks will make new highs at some particular point. Disney came out after the close. It's already pulled back somewhat, so I would think I put some bids in at 105 and change. I don't think it got hit. I went as low as 106. It came in from 111. It didn't, miss a bit, on the revenues. So I think the 50-day does hold. So, maybe that's a spot to look after hours if you see it there. There was a small trade in Amazon from my note this morning. Not a blockbuster. They said if it gets above 810, maybe there's a push. That's all there was. Still a chance that it tries to fill this gap. You had a small little red dog reversal yesterday. Okay, some people took it home long. I did not. I played it for when it got above this, but didn't take it overnight. At this point, I don't think it's a short, but I don't think you need to be overly involved either. It needs some time. Google also took out that 826 from my note, saying that maybe it spent enough time in the penalty box. What does that mean? Wasn't enough to take out 861. Didn't hold the prior pivot high here, and then came into the 50-day and held. And then took out this small little area that if you were short, you cover, and if you're looking for a bit of a retracement, at least you had a spot there. Went above this 826-ish, went as high as 831. So a little trade. Sometimes it's just trades. You're not always going to get a 52-week high trade. You're not always going to get, a nice clean red dog reversal. Sometimes you have to, trade a little bit through a pivot, for cash flow. And at this point, I got to go. We'll see what happens on the open tomorrow. We're still looking at tweets. We're still looking at executive orders. We're still looking at Supreme Court decisions. But that's what everyone else is looking at. But here, we'll look at the action of the market. And those now, things still hold up. There's still things to do. 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door. We'll use our tier system to keep our risk under control and see if we can continue to net money and move forward. Hopefully, you had a decent day, and I will see you in the morning. Bye-bye.